Nearly 70 years after the Holocaust, many survivors of Nazi persecution are facing dire financial hardship. There are some 120,000 survivors here in the United States, many of whom have to rely on social services agencies for help with basics like food and medication. The largest survivor populations are in New York and here in Florida.
He says you have a balance for $148.
Sally Cimino meets with a caseworker from the Jewish Family Service in Broward County, Florida. She's one of thousands of Holocaust survivors that social services agencies say have outlived their savings. Cimino can no longer afford one of her medications.
It's been now months that I don't take it. One medication that I take monthly, it's $179. And I can afford to take that. And my blood pressure goes up, and I take some pills. I try to cover it with something else, but it's not as good as that medication that I need it badly.
Kenneth Moskowitz runs the Jewish Family Service of Broward County. He says hundreds of survivors have few family members in the U.S. and lean on his organization for financial support.
Many of the survivors don't have family, maybe never had children, or for one reason or another, they don't have a relationship anymore with their family, their children. So for us, you know, we are that family.
91-year-old Felice Taub receives help from a carer provided by the Ruth and Norman Rales Jewish Family Service in Boca Raton, Florida. Born in Poland, Taub is still haunted by her war experiences.
We were sent to Siberia from the Russians. We thought we were going to run away from the Germans to the Russian side. But then the Russians didn't trust us, and they sent us to Siberia.
Danielle Hartman, president and CEO of the Ruth and Norman Rales Jewish Family Service, says it's not just financial difficulties facing survivors. Many feel unable to live in care facilities because of the traumatic associations they have with institutionalized settings.
It could be a shower, it could be asking someone to wear an identification badge, it could be asking people to wait in line. There could be issues regarding food and hoarding. So we find that it's better for the health and wellness of the survivor population to remain living at home.
Hartman says her organization spends $5,000 a month more on home care than it did just 3 years ago, looking after the growing needs of 300 Holocaust survivors. Much of the financial support for U.S. Holocaust survivors is distributed by groups like the Conference on Jewish Material Claims Against Germany. The U.S. government has proposed $15 million in support to the community, with 25% of survivors living below the poverty level. Steve Mort for JN1 in Boca Raton, Florida.